What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here, just hanging out in the apartment. Hold on, let me adjust the camera just a little bit. There we go. Let's get that framed a little bit better. Just hanging out in the apartment. I have to work tonight. It'll be the end of a 4-day stretch, which a lot of people are like, I work 5 days, I work 6 days a week. Well, I'm just trying to stay part time. Working my job at Super Funland. If you're new to my channel, I work at a amusement park called Super Funland. I don't want to give any wrong impressions about working at Super Funland. So I always have to kind of watch what I say when I'm talking about Super Funland. And I've actually been really struggling. I'm not gonna lie. The last couple of days, I really wanted this video. This video is gonna probably hit Sunday morning. I really wanted it to hit, put something out on either Friday or Saturday, but I've been way too tired. Like, absolutely just way too tired. Working out in the heat. We've had a lot of rain that pretty much here in Florida creates a sauna effect. And I've had a lot of stressful situations, and I'm not here to complain. I'm really not, but I'm also not an influencer, so I can't snap my fingers, put on a smile. Hey guys, check out this limited edition Indiana Jones Last Crusade glass. Check the links down below to order one. Blah blah blah. I just can't pretend. I'm tired. I'm struggling with trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. I had a couple run-ins with more employees, I will say, and it all comes down to caring. I care too much. I take things too personally. I don't know. I'm not into astrology, but if you read the definition of a Cancer, yeah, I'm pretty sure they wrote the definition of a Cancer after they researched me. It's me to a T. It's kind of scary, actually, but yeah. I don't know what to expect from an entry-level job, that people are going to be amazing that I'm working with. For the most part, I'm always saying leadership for the most part. There's a couple leaders that are definitely, the term leader, let me rephrase that, supervisors, I'm going to say, that are definitely, that I like more than others, that are better than others and whatnot. But for the most part, leadership is very good at Super Funland. And but some of the employees, we'll call them, and it doesn't matter, all walks of life, black, white, brown, young, old, they're all either, there's great ones and there's crappy ones. And I'm trying. I'm so trying. I made jokes about I'll never be able to work for someone again. When you've been self-employed, for over 2 decades, it's really hard to get back into the rhythm of the workforce, working with people that you did not hire, and you have no control over. And I'm not trying to control anyone, but it's like, God, can we just work as a cohesive team? And, I went out of my way to talk to one of my supervisors about that, trying to have a more cohesive operation. And this is while this person is typing. The pace, the volume of what I do There's not a lot of downtime, and there's a lack of, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, of Super Funland, that there could be more leadership positions. Um, and don't say, well, why don't you become a supervisor? Because I don't really want to. I want to work a part-time job. I really, that's not what I started my job with. Super Funland, Adventureland, what's it called? Super Funland. That was not the intention when I got the job for that company. But it's just this mentality, a certain mentality. Prime example, I was doing register. I'm working with a guest that got, we'll say it was some chicken strips with a particular type of sauce on them, and they wanted the sauce on the side. Well, there's a button to put it on the side in a modifier section on the computer system at one of the restaurants in this park, but at the other restaurant in this park, there isn't. So the most I could do was on the side. It just says on the side as far as a note, but it's not saying what's on the side. So I print 2 copies of the receipt, give one to the guest. They go to the counter behind me to pick it up, and I stand up and I take the receipt over to this person that's doing the counter behind me, who it's their job to get the food to the guest. And I explained the situation. I said, hey, can you hand this ticket over to the kitchen, which is right behind them, and just make sure that this sauce gets put on the side? Sounds pretty easy, right? This person looks at me like I was going to say speaking a foreign language. I was speaking a foreign language, unfortunately for this person, but they do know English. But just didn't care at all, And I'm trying to explain, just take the receipt, turn around, talk to the people doing the food window in the kitchen, and make sure sauce is on the side. And it wasn't like a lack of understanding, it was a lack of care that just really, really irritated me. A couple other little things like that throughout the day. People not moving when you're like carrying a big jug of, I'll just say, a certain liquid that goes into a certain type of machine to create a certain type of dessert. I'll just leave it at that. And things like that. And then right at the very end of the day, it was my job with 2 other people to make sure this counter area is nice and clean. And I noticed there's this, and you have to clean everything, you have to cover everything with saran wrap. It's a very, very clean facility at Super Funland. I will say that. But we've got 6 minutes, right? We're gonna get signed off basically on our close. If a supervisor finds that it's not adequate, we're gonna have to go back and maybe, redo the floors or something, like the floors are like no joke. You use a hose, you get everything wet, you throw soap down, you use these big brushes, which I did for 2 hours like 3 days ago. My lower back was just absolutely killing me a couple days after. A couple days ago, the day after. And it comes with the job, it's an entry-level job. But point of the story was, I just noticed this, I don't know if I said what it was. It was a bottle of grenadine, and I asked this other cast member who, if I offended anyone by saying this other person, English was like not their first language. This other person that I was dealing with was white, just like me. Because I've had people in the comments like say that I talk about race or something. Like, I don't know where they got that from, but this other white person like me, I said, do we have any more grenadine? And she literally points to the bottle. I grab the bottle, I hold it up so she can see. I said, that's about a half an ounce. That's like not good for anything. And I said, I'd like to get another bottle so they have one ready for tomorrow. Her response was, not my problem. I said, yeah, that doesn't work for me. I said, do you have any idea where a backup grenadine bottle would be? She says, try dry storage. Go back there, can't find one. Like I said, we got about 6 minutes to kill. Everything is done. She's just gonna stand there and milk the clock. And it's just that mentality. It's just, I'm absolutely sick of being around people. And it's not just this place that I work at, Super Funland. I know that happens everywhere, but the difference is back in the day when my restaurants, that wouldn't fly, and I could take care of the situation. Now I can't, and I'm not willing to take a higher position of a supervisor. I don't think I am. I don't know, because there's also it's a possibility, but it would. I would only want to do it part-time. There's a couple relief type positions, they're called, and or doing like a training position. But at the same time, I'm trying to do this, and I'm really enjoying this. And I'm so backed up on getting back to comments, and when I get home from work, it's just I'm exhausted. The first thing I want to do is just jump in the shower, because wow, working half the day, sometimes half the day or more when I'm at work in this Florida heat and humidity is I'm just not used to it, and it just drains you. I have no energy left at the end of the day, and in the morning it's like I'm the walking dead. Like I said, I work tonight, but I really like working where I'm working tonight. I'm grateful. I feel lucky that I get to work where I'm working. It's another park within the, what's it called again? Super Funland umbrella, we'll say, and I really like that park a lot. Has to do with old movies and stuff. It's pretty cool. Also, I've been having some anxiety from anytime I talk about anytime I've talked about if you hear screams, a little girl screaming, it's people at the pool. It's the weekend. A lot of people are at the pool, and I can hear screaming. Anyway, I'm really tired. When I do a particular video and it gets a lot of views, it freaks me out. It really freaks me out, especially if I'm talking about certain subjects like my employment. So I have to be careful about what I do and don't say. And it's one thing that it does concern me. I don't want to lose my job. At the same time, it's an entry-level job, and I could always supplement my income with something else. But at the end of the day, I would like to stay with said company. And but the anxiety is it's real. I think for the same reason that I get so much out of if someone makes a comment. Let's say I'm at work and someone tells me, "Oh, you're great," like a guest, because I really try to give the absolute best service that I can. I'm moved easily, is what I'm saying, and probably because of that, I'm also triggered easily. And because of that, um, when I see like a video has had like over 10,000 views, like to me that's 10,000 people that I don't know. Like wow, like it really it's really cool and it's terrifying at the same time. Like it makes me feel like I really need to perform, and like I'm not an influencer. I don't write stuff out. I just kind of like, this is on my mind, I want to talk about this is how I feel, and I have to have a filter. I have to have a filter. If I was unfiltered, I'd probably lose 90% of my viewership. Not really, but I mean, like I'm really goofy, I'm dorky, and my sense of humor is definitely probably not for everyone. I'm definitely on the extroverted side, and not really afraid of saying certain things. But as you guys have probably, as you could tell in the dumb stuff I've probably said in this video. But when I see like so many channels, like 10,000 views, that would be like, what's happening to my channel? It's dying. My my biggest video, I think, is like, it's over 30,000 video views, and that was when I was talking about the passing of Adam the Woo. That was before anyone I had even seen any videos about like Adam the Woo dying. Like I found out, and the next morning I had to like talk to the camera. I've mentioned it before. This is definitely kind of like my therapy sessions, and I had no idea that was going to go viral. That is viral for me. 30,000 views. That was nuts. And then like this last one, when I'm talking about working at Super Funland, it's like sitting at like 11,000 views, and I'm not gonna lie, like I see that and it's like I like panic, I freeze. It's like I'm afraid to look at comments, because it's like there's so many more comments, and you're gonna get people probably, the bigger of anything there's always that small percentage. That small percentage gets larger, that you're going to get some negativity. And quite honestly, nobody wants to hear negativity. I will be honest. Negative comments, they can definitely affect me. They definitely can. If they didn't, then the great comments wouldn't affect me as much as they do. Some of my great comments that I get from you guys are just awesome. Just absolutely, I just love, like it's that keeps me going. Being able to talk with everyone, and being able to relate with people. It's so cool when someone says like, they can relate with this, or that's how I'm feeling about something like that. It makes me feel like I'm not completely crazy. There's some semblance of connection, in my crazy mind. But like my thoughts aren't completely, nuts or incoherent. So anyway, just sharing that. I've never shared that before. The fact that, I get anxiety when I get a lot of views on a video, because I'm extremely grateful, and it's like, that's when I think about that many people just watching someone that they don't know. I've seen so many content creators, they're at like 19,000 subscribers, and they're like, come on, let's please subscribe, please like, share this. I really want to get to 20,000 subs. And it's like, do you know what you're asking of people? Like, I really hope you're like super grateful for that, because you're asking for, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe, but you're asking people to do that for you. And it's just, it's not like it's a big deal. Like I said, you're just tapping a button, but like, man, you're asking, another 1,000 people or something to follow you on this crazy thing we call YouTube. And don't take people for granted, you know? I know I don't. I really don't. Um, I didn't even know I was going to talk about any of this stuff. So that's kind of the way my brain works. I hit record, start talking about one thing, and all of a sudden I'm in therapy and all this stuff comes out. So I've actually, like I said, been somewhat not dreading trying to get this video done. I've been wanting to talk about some stuff with work that I'm still struggling, trying to figure out this balance. But yeah, I've been really tired, and that's why I've just been like, I don't want to be like this mass of dead energy in front of the camera, so to speak. So, yeah, just trying to figure all of this new life out. Moving to Florida, it's so different. It's so different. I really want to do some videos talking about what I've learned since moving to Central Florida. It's a completely different animal than Colorado, and pros and cons. There's a lot of pros, a lot of cons, and Jill and I, my wife Jill, we are still trying to figure it out day to day, like what we want out of life and out of being here, and a lot of it is the parks. The amusement parks here are just fantastic. I mean, I haven't even been to Universal yet. Like if you're anyone that is thinking about, and I've talked to so many people in the comments that are thinking about moving to Orlando, that's one thing I can tell you: you'll never ever be bored. Ever. If you're bored in Orlando, then you're screwed. Like you'll be bored anywhere and everywhere, unless like your whole life is being in the mountains, because this part of Florida is as flat as a ruler. I mean, it's flat. I miss the mountains, but there's so much to do here. I'm usually just stuck in super fun land bubble. But anyway, yeah. I really can't complain anymore about work, because I know it's part of life. Wherever you go, you're gonna have challenges and issues with people, with managers, with customers, all of that. And I'm just not used to not having autonomy, to control situations and whatnot. And if I really need to, yeah, then I guess I'd have to bite the bullet and work more to climb the ranks, so I can have more say in people's performances and whatnot. But I'm just not willing to do that. So if I'm not willing to do that, then I need to learn how to adapt and just let go. I was literally told by one of my original trainers yesterday. She heard that I was having a rough time from another trainer / supervisor that we had a nice talk with. I had a nice talk with, sorry, and the day before. And anyway, this trainer just told me, just let it go. She said, you're gonna stroke out, meaning I'm gonna have a stroke. Like she's been there for a long time. She said she's just had to learn to just let it go and just worry about what she's doing. And but how do you, when a guest, like you can tell they're not getting good service? I can't even tell you guys about certain experiences that I have seen, certain things I've heard from other cast members about others. Did I say cast member? I don't know what that term means. I meant employees at Superfun World. I just can't talk about it. So anyway, I'm gonna shut up before I say anything that is gonna get me in trouble. So yeah, lots to come, I'm sure, as usual. I want to do some other videos regarding all kinds of stuff, and I just need to find the time. I am pulling back next week a little bit, so I've only got 3 shifts, which is, thank you, Lord, which is great. I'm not picking up any extra shifts next week. And my wife, sorry, ding, just got a text. That means I got to start cooking. So on that note, thank you guys so much for listening. You have no idea how much I appreciate like I don't ever ask like, hey, subscribe, it's free. But hey, while you're there, if you want to subscribe, it's free. But seriously, like I don't ask for that stuff. I don't ask for the likes, all that. But and you know, when I see people hitting the like button um, on their own, just like to show support, like it's just I don't know, it just blows me away. Like people drive me nuts, and people are awesome. You know, it's such a yin. Wow, I can't say that, yin and yang situation, thing, whatever you want to call it. But I guess without some bad, you wouldn't appreciate all the good, right? So, uh, that being said, I appreciate all you guys so much. I'm rambling now, and I'll see you guys real soon. Bye bye.